Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion.
The new channel. The new channel.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello there and welcome to the new channel. We are here to help you see the new you. My name is Loy Luna, live streaming from Makati City, and this is The Big Picture. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, wherever you're watching from around the world. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. It's an incredible journey. Tayo po ay nasa 7 seasons na. Sa lahat po ng hindi pa nakakalam sa inyo, I'm going to show the photo, our poster na po. Ipapakita ko po sa inyo kung gano'n nakatagal ang The Big Picture. Gano'n katagal? Parang hindi naman gano'n pakatagalan. Sige, direct, let us show them how many seasons meron na tayo and how many interviews have we done for the past 4 months. That's it. The summary of the show can be seen on your screen. Maraming salamat po sa more than 100 people na na-interview natin sa show. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us, because kung wala po kayo, wala yung The Big Picture at wala din the new channel, and siguro po hindi namin mape-perform ang aming mission na mag-inspire ng mga tao sa kabila po ng pinagdadaanan nating pandemya. So if you are watching live right now, please do share our live stream link. You can also organize your own watch parties, or you can also watch us on YouTube. Punta po kayo sa youtube.com/tncnow, and if you can drop a comment there at kayo po ay mapili naming mapalad na nanonood sa YouTube, nanonood at may comment, you can actually have the opportunity to get a gift from us courtesy of Unisol and TNC. So again, if you're going to watch us live on youtube.com/tncnow, you can be one of our lucky viewers to receive this item. Please watch. Bakit ano nakakatawa? Washable face mask courtesy of Unisol. Kung kayo po ay mapalad na mapipiling nanonood sa youtube.com/tncnow na ating pong programa ngayon, you can have the opportunity to take it home. Actually, kami yung magbibigay pala sa inyo. 600 peso worth ng washable face mask from Unisol. If you're living within Metro Manila, and then delivery is on us. So, watch us also on youtube.com/tnc. Now, we're going to announce the winner before our show tonight ends. In the meantime, I'd like to say hi to Rochelle Jane Baluyot, Teresa Geronimo. Si Baby Carms is also watching along with John Kennedy De Leon. Siyempre, hindi natin pwedeng hindi bati si Monetsky Florendo. Mukhang may kinalaman sa ating guests for tonight. Mukhang hakot si Mamonetsky. Si Lura de la Peña is also watching. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. And again, if you're watching right now, please do share this live stream link. May bahay pala. May bahay ng ating pong guests for tonight. Ititingnan, i-check kung tama yung sinasagot ng kanyang asawa. Baka mamaya iba pala, pagtalunan pa nila mamaya bago matulog. Anyway, kung kayo po ay updated sa mga bali-balita ngayon, hindi ko po alam kung matutuwa kayo sa ating pong napabalitang pagbubukas ng ating pong dalampasigan sa Manila Bay. So malamang kung kayo po ay madalas sa Facebook, makikita niyo yung napakadaming memes, no? Napakadaming mga picture na doon sa kabilang side is yung hindi nag-social distance ng mga tao. At dun sa right side is yung mga photo nila, malamang sa malamang yung mga Boracay photos nila. At ang kanila pong sinasabi ay, huwag kayong magulo, ako lang to. Ngayon po, nakakatawa na lang isipin, pero if you're going to think about it, kung gaano kaseryoso yung situation, makikita niyo naman, no? Wala pa tayong kasiguruduhan kung paano natin ma-flatten yung curve ng coronavirus or COVID-19. But then again, meron kang ganitong klase ng situation na mismo ikaw pamahalaan is hindi mo na control. I mean, hindi mo na foresee na mangyayari. Although obviously, kung bubuksan mo siya for public, alam mo na ang mangyayari without you having to think about it, right? Right. Unfortunately, hindi natin alam kung anong nasa isip ng mga leaders natin, kung sila nag-iisip at kung sila hindi nag-iisip, bakit sila hindi nag-iisip. But then again, nangyari na yan, hindi natin malalaman kung ilan ang mga positive dyan sa mga nagpunta ng Baywalk ng Manila Bay at kung ilan yung mga mahawaan, hindi natin alam. But as I can see the figures, hindi pa tayo bumababa sa 3,000 cases a day, although maraming mga recoveries na tayong na-i-declare. But again, nasabi ko lang yan because you know what, meron akong isang gustong sabihin sa inyo. Baka sakali lang next time, alam nyo na at mas maintindihan nyo na. Ayan. Sa lahat po namang hindi nakakaalam, ang Manila Bay po ay hindi aalis sa kanyang lugar. So kung kayo po ay medyo nagdududa na hindi nyo makikita yung white sand na yan, makikita at makikita nyo po dyan kasi hindi naman po yung basta-basta mawawala dyan. So ako naman bilang isang Pilipino, hindi ko din mausgahan yung attitude ng mga tao, yung decision kung bakit kayo nagpunta dyan. But I'm just saying, hindi mawawala ang Manila Bay o Manila Divide, and therefore, kung makakapagtiyaga lang kayo, tingnan nyo na lang po muna sa picture, no? Dahil sa totoo lang, hindi nyo alam na pwede kayong mahawaan dyan. Hindi nyo talaga alam. Diba? But anyway, syempre, alam naman natin lahat na nangyari na yan, 2 araw yata dyan. So, tingnan natin kung ano mangyayaring cases, tataas, bababa, or mananatili. But I'm just saying, next time sana hindi mangyari na sinasabi natin na wag magdikit-dikit and then meron kang isang palabas dyan na exactly opposite kung ano yung nangyari. So again, this is not to say na walang ginagawang tama ang government, but in this particular case, feeling ko po ay hindi tama. And so, bago masira ang ating gabi, we are here to inspire people. Gusto ko lang pong, again, sabihin sa inyo na kung kayo nanonood ngayon, you can have the opportunity to get a gift from us if you're going to watch us on youtube.com/TNC now. And then, just drop some comments there. You can also ask your questions here. Pag may mga tanong po kayo mamaya, kasi we're going to talk about work. We're going to talk about the new business environment. We're going to talk about how people report. What are the things that actually changed in the last 6 months? Since we started this community quarantine. So mamaya sasagutin ng ating guest kung ano yung mga insights niya tungkol sa trabaho, pagtatrabaho at pagpo-provide ng trabaho. Saka kung kayo po ay yung mga hindi pinalad na manatili sa kanilang trabaho, baka naman maroon kayong opportunity na hindi nakikita at baka naman may kailangan kayong gawin. Tingnan natin kung ano yung advice na may ibibigay sa atin ng ating guests for tonight. In the meantime, before we do that, let's take a look at the headlines from the Manila Times. Concepcion Eyes Breath Testing. DepEd ready than ever for opening of classes. Government addressing cases of impunity according to Andanar. No trips to Tagaytay, sans Travel Authority. Basahin niyo po yung reports dito sa Tagaytay ha, dahil lagi pong conflicting yung pahayag ng local government ng Tagaytay at saka ng national government natin, particularly yung ating pong kapulisan. Although nakabase daw po sa IATF naman guidelines yung pabubukas ng turismo ng Tagaytay City. Navy welcomes support for South China Sea ruling. Yan, tingnan natin yan. And go pushes passage of housing measure.
Ayan. Kaya naman pala, palakpak ako ng palakpak, wala nakakarinig. Ayan. Kaya parang ito naman yun. Narinig niya. Kanina pa ako pumapalakpak. Pindot ako ng pindot. Wala palang naririnig. Diyos ko. Anyway, sige. Ganun po talaga. Nagkakamali. Sabi ko na nga ba, magkakamali one of these days. Ayan. Nagkamali. But in the meantime, meron na tayo. So, tuloy ang ating kasiyahan. BBM issues guidelines on 1.5 billion peso support fund. In fairness, after 13 minutes, nalaman natin na wala tayo music. Manila Times. For more news and information, please go to manilatimes.net or download their application at digitaledition.manilatimes.net. Okay, good. So kung wala tayong headlines, and then let's bring in our guest for tonight. Very special and very accommodating because 12 noon ko lamang po yata na-invite na mag-share sa the big picture, and now he is here. Ladies and gentlemen, please do help me welcome the President and CEO of PoliServe Philippines, Froilan Florendo.
Hello,
Sir,
Roy. Yeah.
thank you so much. Good evening. Maraming salamat sa pagtanggap ng invitation. We're really honored to be we are honored that you're part of the show. Maraming salamat.
Yeah, thank you as well for inviting me, for this show, and it's quite an honor that I was invited, even in short notice. And of course, I have to accommodate, simply because I'm talking to someone like you, Sir Lloyd, So, good evening then to all those who are watching right now. So, I hope I would be able to share insights on certain topics that you would like to ask from my end.
Yes, sir. Good evening to your wife na nanonood. Baka makalimutan niyang batiin. Nakayari kayo.
Good evening, good evening. Good evening sa aking mahal na kasama sa buhay, si Munetsky.
Yeah. Oo. Because malaki yung part nila, yung ating mga kabiyak sa pinagdadaanan natin ngayong
Yes.
lahat. I mean, ngayon
Agree,
yung time
agree.
na talaga, ah, as in, tayo yung talagang hawak ng kamay at kailangan nating gawin. But thank you so much again when you told me that kung para yan sa iba, yung show mo na yan, sige, puntahan kita. So now we are here and we're excited to be here. Ma'am Roda is watching, oo. Along with Jimmy, Ma'am Annabel, saka again, sila Lura. Oo. Yan. Okay, good, sir. Let's start the conversation. It has been, what, half a year? Nahati na yung taon na wala tayong namamalayan. Si Jose Marichan ay bumalik na at nangangaroling na. Tell us something about your experience going through this challenging period because walang ganitong klase ng period sa history natin, at least as a humanity.
Yeah. So anyway, experience, everything is new. Everything is a surprise, no? So when this started in March, no, during the ECQ period, all the while I was thinking that it will only be for a period of 2 to 3 months. But apparently we've crossed that timeline already and we are on our 6th month, no? Sa batas nga yan, itawag dyan regular na dapat, no? Under the probationary law, when you pass the probationary period of 6 months, you get to be regularized. And see, COVID, I think, at this point in time, is considered as a regular employee na under the labor law of the Philippines. No?
Oo
Anyway,
nga
the
So
journey,
may mga benefit na pala siya, ganun. May mga benefits na dapat.
correct. Journey,
I mean, in a sense, sir, in a sense,
yeah,
I'm sorry to cut you here, but in a sense,
yeah.
na regular na feeling ko yung iba parang tinanggap na part ng life nila, no? Kasi yung iba parang napagod na dun sa takot. Parang hindi na sila takot kasi pagod na silang matakot. So sige, parang I'm going to wear mask, face shields, whatever. But I'm going to work. Nonetheless, I'm going to report. I'm going to rebuild my life and things like that. So parang they started to learn with coexist with the virus na. Although syempre, cautious pa din sana lahat.
Yeah, very true. No, what you're saying is very true because initially we were pondering. No, all of us technically are thinking that this is going to be temporary, diba? But as time went by, we became more adaptive to the situation. Kasi at first, syempre, everything was new. But later on, as the crisis progresses, no, we learn to adapt to the situation and adapt to it simply because it's the new reality that we have to actually accept, no? And we cannot cease all our activities, especially the way we live, no? We cannot cease that just because of this crisis. We have to somehow move forward and learn to adapt to all these things that are happening. Otherwise, you'll get left behind, no? Things are very much different right now, and so you have to be constantly moving forward and trying to explore new ways of doing business and new ways of adapting to how you can build further the activities that you do in terms of your business and work. No? Mahirap, but it's the reality that we have to face. Hence, there's no way but to accept it, no, and take this opportunity as a new chapter wherein you try to learn as much and be able to adapt to it. No?
I would like to understand your journey. The 6th month is different from the first month. Few weeks ng quarantine, and this is a hard stop. I mean, we were not given 3 months to prepare. It was a week or a few days before they said, no one goes out, and then lockdown or quarantine. What was
Yeah,
or what were your coping mechanism? Yung mga first few weeks na what were you thinking at the time and what were you doing? Nagkaroon ka ba ng time na parang anong tawag dito? Parang na-confused or anong iniisip mo exactly ng mga panahon na kaka-lockdown pa lang? Na hindi pa kagaya nito na parang ngayon we were able to adjust.
The anxiety is there, no? At the onset of this crisis, the anxiety was there because you will always think of what's going to happen in the business in the next couple of months, no? So the anxiety was there. You're worried because, business is uh, slowing down. The demands are slowing down. You're worried about the people that you take care of. You're worried about your internal employees. You're worried about everything. No? And the coping mechanism is that you just have to always look at it from a positive standpoint. No, I'm by nature a very optimistic person. No, so I look at things differently and I look at opportunities in a positive way. In this particular situation, although it is negative in nature, you have to always look beyond what you can see. I always believe that, in the past, this was hurdled, and I'm sure this time around, it still can. No? We can hurdle this because I believe that there would always be a solution down the line. No? As the song goes, diba? There's always a rainbow at the end of each rain. So, with this at hand, I have to somehow look at it from a perspective that we will all survive this. Siyempre, masakit, no? Masakit because the business has somehow been affected. Masakit because the usual income that you receive and the usual revenue that your business earns uh, is no longer there. But what do? You have to move forward and find a way to somehow pivot your business into becoming more attractive to your clients. We're affected in our retail industry, but of course it doesn't end there. We have other clients, and what do? We take advantage of providing the best service such that these existing clients would not look at others. But of course, not setting aside, the needs of your people. Dalawa yan eh. You have to take care of the needs of your clients in the same manner that the needs of your people. Without taking care of your people, there would be no one to take care of the client. And that's very
Definitely.
critical in every business. Now, we cannot survive or we cannot exist without people who would actually believe in you and support you in terms of your directions in the
Yeah,
business.
very basic. And everything, by the way, is still moving parts, no? Kumbaga parang even up to until now, hindi pa talaga natin nakukuha exactly kung ano yon. So, kumbaga parang as humanity, medyo hindi pa talaga natin distinguish or wala pa certainty kung paano natin ito yung gagawin moving forward. But anyway, let's move back a bit. I would like to understand where you're coming from. So, you are in a business of providing companies with people uh, uh, to help them in their business. Paano kayo nag-start nitong business na ito? And ano yung inspiration?
Okay, I'm an accidental entrepreneur, no? But
Accidental
yeah,
entrepreneur.
accidental entrepreneur. That's the reality of it. I used to work as a country HR manager for one of the largest software companies now in the world, not only in the Philippines but in the world. So it's a global company, and I had that opportunity to become the first country HR manager. So I had my heydays. I enjoy it because, of course, you get to learn different HR methodologies, HR strategies in different countries, in different regions, no? And then you get to travel. That's a fantastic part of it. You get to travel, you get to meet different people who actually are in the same practice as yours. So from that point, no, eventually there was a transition of a CEO, transition from the old who hired me and then a new one, and that new one actually apparently brought someone in, and then I had to move out, and that is where the accidental aspect came into play. So I eventually explored doing business kasi I went around and did some job hunting, but eventually when there were no more takers, medyo mapili tayo nun kasi medyo prestigious yung pinanggalingan until at such time that job offers gone kaput, no? So job offers became limited, and eventually I had to fend for my family. So that pushed me to venturing into a headhunting business. And from the headhunting business, I went into the service contracting business. So little
Ang
by little, I was
hini-headhunt,
able to, yeah,
ang hini-headhunt
all.
ay nag-headhunt. Sir, ang
Yeah,
nag-headhunt ay nag-headhunt.
so eventually, I had to survive. And that's the kicker there. No? I had to survive. by way of coming up with my own simple ways or own ways of earning money. And that is
But
where the headhunting and staffing business came into play.
but how different was it, or how difficult was it, changing or changing gear, or yung mismo setup mo? Kasi syempre you're not living by paycheck to paycheck anymore. I mean, this one is
Yeah.
kind of iko na yung head.
You,
What were the
there,
challenges at the time?
yeah. The challenge there is you have to cross that Rubicon. No? I quote my friend here. No? The Rubicon is where you have to shift from the usual 15-30th mindset to something like earning on a variable basis. So that was the greatest challenge, when you transition from a 15-30 mindset into becoming, of course, an entrepreneur, where you went during the starting stage of your business, you have to adapt to or adjust to having that variable pay arrangement. No, when you say variable, walang 15-30 yan. Sometimes you earn as much, whopping 3, 4, 500 in one sitting. But then there would be some cases that you don't earn anything, and you have to manage your funds and ensure that you have enough to cross the next 3, 4, 5 months. So that is how it worked, no? At the time when I was starting my business 20 years ago.
Pero sure kayo nun? I mean, sure kayo dun sa risk na tinitake ninyo? Or parang may plan B kayo na, if this doesn't work, I would go back?
There's always a plan B. There's always a plan B. But, I was actually in a situation that I have to survive this challenge. No? You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your competency. You have to believe that you can do this. Otherwise, even before starting, you've already failed. And that is really, the first break was when I was able to place a very specific and difficult position for a very challenging technical expertise. Napakahirap nun, diba? This is actually a profession that would entail a programming expertise at that time, and it is only used. This programming tool was the only tool that is used to tweak a specific software. Very rare here in the Philippines because at that time it was this technology was only 2 or 3 years old pa lang. So wala pang enough skills in the Philippines, and you have to find or find a way to be able to place that requirement. And luckily I was able 1999.
Oh,
That
parang
was 1999.
dot-com bubble pa yan di ba? 99.
Yeah. Actually, client ko yan, si DCN.ph. But anyway, so moving forward, I was able to make 3 placements, and that yielded me around 150 to 200,000. And that gave me confidence that, madali palang gawin to. So I created my marketing materials. I created all the documentations that is required to make or to formalize every engagement that you make. So from that point onwards, it was never turning back. No, there was no reason for me to look back. But of course, there would be challenges along the way that would say, okay, this is very difficult. What do you do next? I got an interview the other day, and I shared this challenge, of having my funds went down. My funds went down, my finances dwindled, and this was during the time of 9/11. If you're familiar with the World Tower Center being bombed by the Al Qaeda, so my business got affected, and that actually now challenged my head, of whether I should pursue the business or not anymore. But luckily, there was a good friend of mine that actually given me advice that, don't stop. You've started something lucrative. You have to move forward. So what did I do? Oh yeah.
Ano na siya, by the time parang 10 years na siya. And kasi 2011 ba? Kailan yung bombing?
No, yung bombing is in 2001.
Oh, 2000. So yung
2001. So 2 years pa lang ako noon.
2 years old.
2 years
okay. So
pa lang.
challenge talaga
Talagang
yun. Patawid ka pa lang.
Oo, so it
So-
was actually very difficult. We were experiencing difficult times. Wala akong pambili ng grocery, walang pambayad ng kuryente.
Wow.
But what kept me moving on is the advice that was given to me by my good friend. No, he's actually an executive vice president right now of a courier company. No, his name is Rex Latuño, very dear friend and very good one, a very good friend. No, who has given me that advice to move forward. But of course, the spirituality aspect has to play also, has to be put in perspective. So I shared in one of the interviews that I've had, no, the word push. If you're familiar with push, I applied this. Push means pray until something happens. And this actually helped me move forward because, when you pray, you're confident that God is with you and He will never, let you down. And then eventually I hurdled that challenge and nakapag-bounce back ako. I was able to again, bring in some business, and little by little, I with the help of my wife, Manette, we were able to save and build what we already have right now. And in 2010, we were able to set up Polyserve Philippines. So that was after so many years, no, 1999 to 2010. We set up, no, kasi we started with HR Network, and then in 2010 it was Polyserve Philippines.
Okay. Sige.
So,
you're going out.
That's my story, no, on how I was able to build my business. But of course, the basic ingredient there is my competency and experience being in the human resources and management field. So,
Okay, so
all the
we're
things
going
that,
to talk about, we're going to talk about those competencies na kailangan if you are in this particular field. Especially ngayon na mayroong mga changes na, dito talaga mapapangita, dito may papakita kung yung experience mo is magagamit mo ngayon. Kumbaga kung theory ka lang or yung mga practical experiences and wisdom mo that you have acquired over the years. Kumbaga lahat na lang na archive na pwede mong balikan para ma-apply mo ngayon. Let's see kung ano-ano yung mga yan. When the big picture on TNC returns, please stay on our stream. We'll be back.
Since I got my new place, I've enjoyed every single day here. Hotel-like amenities, attentive staff, resort-style living, all in a premium location. So life here is easy and convenient. That's why I invested in another unit. I can earn more, and they can enjoy the very same things I enjoy at home. What a life! So much more rewarding. So much more to life. SMDC.
We meet beauty every day. We meet power every day. But are you ready?
ready? Ready.
Beauty is power.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Picture on the new channel. Before I call in back in my guest again for tonight, I would like to invite you to watch our other shows, inspirational shows on the new channel. The Big Picture shares inspiring stories of notable personalities Mondays through Fridays at 7 p.m. HR Hotline introduces us to the wonderful world of human resources management Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 1 p.m. Have an insightful Saturday afternoon because the family business is everyone's business at 4 p.m. The fourth project is about life, business, and success stories live from Dubai, UAE at 6 p.m. or 10 p.m. Philippine time on Saturdays. Usapang Beauty is about beauty beyond what your eyes can see. Thursdays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. The world has faced an unprecedented pandemic. Time to hear positive testimonies straight from those who recovered from the disease. COVID stories, Saturdays at 10:30 p.m. Discover your life purpose and learn from others. Turn around stories by tuning in to U-Turn, Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. The Home Buyer is where you hear remarkable stories about building and owning properties, Mondays and Fridays or Thursdays at 4 p.m. Laugh and learn through the puppet stories, Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Magbenta, bumili at tumulong dahil bukas na ang TNC Marketplace, an online night bazaar, Thursdays and Fridays at 10:30 p.m. YOLO is for all of us to understand that law is fun and cool as well, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Watch and learn from or about money and more. Streams live from the Philippines and the US, Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Philippine time and 5:30 a.m. California, USA. Two leaders in one platform. TNC The Talk, Mondays at 12 noon. After shift is a relaxing show about your choices and whatever you do after work, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Discover and learn strategies on self-leadership to win in life through Win Within, Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Dream, achieve, nurture, and inspire. Tag your kids along and watch Danny Art Show every Friday at 5:30 p.m. Global issues, common interest, learn together across borders. Foreign affairs streams Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Because health is wealth, Healthline on Wednesdays and Fridays at 4 p.m. More upcoming shows such as Awesome Day, Women at Work, Cybernext, Tech U, and GGNO or Good Girls Night Out. Catch our also our other TNC original shows such as One Day, an inspiring 30-minute storytelling. It alternates with TNC Town Hall, co-hosted by TNC founders yours truly and Apple. This show is where we talk to you, our valued audience, about our shows on TNC. More upcoming TNC shows will truly inspire you. Please follow our channel on Facebook and YouTube and let us help you see the new you. Kakapagod. Madami na po. Nagsimula tayo ng April. So 4 months na tayo ngayon. Who would have thought na yung isang programa na parang napag-triple lang gawin out of boredom ay matatransform into a full-blown channel with so many inspirational shows. Sabi ko nga, parang tama si Sir Froilan eh. Kailangan mo makita yung kagandahan dun sa pangit na nangyayari. In this particular case, siguro, sasabihin ko bilang isang professional speaker, parang nawalan ako ng stage or nawalan ako ng platform to motivate and inspire people. But look at us now, di ba? Kung ako dati, isa lang na nag-motivate at nag-inspire sa stage, one speech at a time, now we have more than 20 shows inspiring many people sa iba't ibang market segment. So kumbaga parang ako kung titingnan ko base sa sinabi ni Sir Froilan kanina, and then, maganda rin pala yung nangyari kasi hindi na lang ako ngayon nag-iisa. I was able to transform myself to the point na na-multiply ko yung aking mission, which is to inspire people. Although hindi na sa stage, but another platform. So I always say na yung mission mo, hindi naman nabago. Pero yung platform on how you're going to execute your mission, nabago. And in this case, magandang pagbabago. So let's bring in back our guest for tonight. Froilan Florendo is President CEO of Polyserve Philippines. Also, President ng HR Network. At saka siya din po ay PRO pala ng PALSCON or yung Philippine Association of Legitimate Service Contractor. So, welcome to the Big Picture again. Maraming salamat po sa pag-stay. talagang masaya kami ngayon na makukuha namin yung wisdom mo. Especially dito nga sa labor market natin ngayon. With your many years of experience back then, ang question ko is, ano yung mga nai-apply mo ngayon na very visible or very useful ngayon? Na kumbaga parang dati nakapark lang because hindi mo na siya magamit. Kasi ang tawag doon, lagi tayong abala. Parang ngayon nakuha natin. Ito yung mga basics na kailangan natin.
Okay. In adaptation to what's happening right now, in the crisis that we are experiencing, what have I learned? No? I learned actually on accepting realities that come our way by way of looking at problems on a different perspective. Most people would actually succumb to problems. Most people would actually give up on their problems. In my case, what I have learned here is that I would always say that these are all temporary. It's just a matter of looking at ways on how to be creative and, trying to apply it to your business. So I'll cite a case now. When this all started, we were actually in a quandary. No? We were in a situation of, how do we move forward from all of these things? We have to prevent the risk of COVID infection in terms of our employees. So what did we do? We tried coming up with remedies of transforming the business into a work, work wherein there is flexible arrangements. No, what are these flexibilities that we have done during this crisis? Number one is we allowed in our recruitment activities the flexible working arrangement or the work from home arrangement, wherein all our recruiters are doing things at the comforts of their home. Now, this averts the probability of infection of COVID. So it turned out that we even made good sale for the last 6 months. And kudos to my senior operations manager, Sarina, because she was able to somehow manage the operations of all our search activities, both for headhunting and outsourced staffing. She was able to somehow create a dynamics that enabled the people to be productive despite these difficulties of working from home. Akala kasi ng iba madali mag-work from home. No, it's very difficult to work from home. Why? Because of several distractions. Because when you're at the confines of, when you're at home, sir, di ba?
We were wishing for that. I mean, sana hindi nila ako matraffic, sana hindi nila ako magpunta napakalayo ng opisina. And then God said, all right, your wish, my command. So, okay, work from home. And now, sinasabi natin na mahirap because distractions are there. So, kumbaga, yung pinapanalangin natin ngayon na ibinigay, and then practically, ngayon naman, nagrereklamo tayo, and we want to be back doon sa ating work. But, interesting how you're able to adapt kakaagad, no? Parte ba ng system ninyo sa company, yung mga tao ninyo, especially mga key people ninyo, to adapt to situations like this? Are they trained to?
No, the answer there is no. Everything is new, as I shared earlier. What actually helped us in adapting is that we had to accept the fact that we can no longer report for work in the confines of our office, simply because there were guidelines that were set by IATF, and these are the challenges. And number public transportation. So in my office kasi, we did a hybrid arrangement. I bought a van, to provide transport support to some of the people that are required to report in the office. And these are the departments like accounting, and then payroll and administration, and of course HR would always have to be, will have to be there as well, because they have to take care of the needs of those who are reporting for work. So it is a hybrid arrangement. So what happened is that there's a certain number of departments, or there is a department that's actually in a work from home arrangement. Naayos natin yan because they were easily able to adapt. Plus the fact that the trust aspect was there, and you have to make sure that you trust these people, and they will reciprocate by extending the same trust that you extend to them. Otherwise, when there is work from home, 40 or 50% they're asleep, 40, 50% they're awake. You're never sure of that.
how are you able to measure that? Kasi yun talaga yung challenge doon. Siyempre, hindi mo nakikita invisible. And when you talk about trust,
Yeah.
yeah.
At the onset,
May-
sir, at the onset, we establish a certain parang standards of output. So
Okay.
this was actually done by my senior manager, no. So hindi ka pwede na walang endorsement. When you say endorsement, these are the people
So
that
ito
you're
sir, yung
recruiting.
sinasabi, ito ba yung scenario na parang, let's just produce this. We're going to trust you. Matulog ka kung gusto mo matulog. Work at your own pace. Basta kailangan mo ma-produce itong output na ito. Yun yung sinasabi
Yes.
natin.
There is an output that is prescribed. Then if you're able to complete, or even go beyond what is prescribed of you, and then you have 1 or 2 hours remaining, then you're allowed, no, to take some
Pwede ka na
rest. Kasi
pwede ka na mag-Netflix kung natapos mo.
it's very difficult to parang run a business without the trust aspect. Eh. Ano yan? I will have to buy, what's this, mga CCTV in each of those. I don't operate that way. Trust is very important because it becomes reciprocal. Eh. If you do not give the trust that is entitled to someone, then that trust will not be returned to you. And that's one of the core values that I have actually imbibed in my business.
Dahil back in the days, pre-COVID, talagang yun yung parang sometimes the tendency is to micromanage, no? So talagang yung mata natin tingin sa bawat galaw nila, and then ngayon parang paano mo nga makikita. But good thing that you're able to adapt. What was the greatest challenge ng work from home arrangement? Ito nga yung hindi natin sila nakikita. Bukod doon sa sinasabi natin na pwede nilang gawin ang mga bagay na gusto nilang gawin at the time, and then at the same time distracted sila. In terms of leading and managing.
The greatest challenge kasi is for you to appreciate and understand how it is done. Now, if you are not able to hurdle that because of the distrust, then you will never be able to succeed in a work from home arrangement. That's why yung challenge dyan kasi is how you will be able to accept this kind of an arrangement. Eh. If you will not have an appreciation of what is being done by your people in a work from home arrangement, then you will always doubt. When the doubt is there, then there is no synergy. When there is no synergy, then there is no accomplishment, there is no success. I'm sure you understand that. And that is the dynamics that we have to somehow apply, not only in our minds, but also in our hearts. And that's why, if you do not, if you will never believe in your people in terms of the trust, in terms of the output that they will be committing to you, then there is no way that a work from home arrangement will succeed. You will always have the tendency to call them, oy, ilan na nagawa mo? Ilan na nasubmit mo? Bakit wala? If that is the way you would run things, then your business will never succeed.
And then we know that people don't run out of excuses, right?
Yes. Kaya nga sabi ko, in one of the talks that I've had with another group, trust is very important. Now, if the person would actually dupe you, or if any of your employee would cheat you, it is not my problem. I do good to them. If they do bad to me, then they are answerable to the man upstairs. And that is the one that they have to face eventually. If they do bad things now, then they get accountable to the man upstairs. Basta ako, as long as I'm not doing any harm to anyone, or I'm not doing any bad to any person, then I'm good with that because I have a clear conscience. My intentions are good. If somebody would take advantage of that, that's his problem, not me. Di ba? It's as simple as that. And that's probably one of the key ingredients why our business has been surviving. Imagine, from the time it started, we haven't cut any internal employees. There are some who resigned because they surrendered to the fact that they can no longer report because one or two of my employees went to the province and cannot come back anymore because there's no public transportation. They resigned, but I did not remove them from my employment, from their employment with my companies.
Sige sir, I'm going to ask you kung ito ba ay yung magiging parang more or less kalakaran in the next few years and how your company can serve naman yung mga entrepreneurs, yung mga businesses na kinakailangan ng expertise mo. So I'm going to pause for another commercial break and then when we come back, we'll talk about that. Plus, a game with you, sir. So magkakaroon tayo ng maliit na palaro. The big picture on the new channel will return. Please do stay on our stream. Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Picture on the new channel. Let's call it back our guest again for tonight. Froilan Florendo is President and CEO of HolyServe and also the HR Network. Good evening, sir. Balik na natin si sir. Sir, game muna tayo.
Good evening.
Ready ka naman,
Yes,
di ba?
sir.
Sige.
Sige. Basta may
Walang
prize.
talsik.
May prize ba?
Meron po, prayer po. Isang Hail Mary.
Okay.
Sige sir. Ano lang to, madali lang to. So identify mo lang po kung yung item na babanggitin ko, preferred ninyo siya na big or small. All right. Item number 1, sir, is coffee.
Big.
mukhang nagpupuyat ah. Yes, sir.
I'm a coffee lover kasi, sir.
Coffee lover. Coffee lover. Sa trabaho niyo mukhang kailangan talaga ng coffee. The second item is milk tea.
Small.
Small lang. Mukhang nagbabawas ng sugar.
Very true,
Okay.
very true.
Very true. Number 3 is car, kotse.
Big.
Okay, big car. House,
Big.
family.
Small.
Small. Credit limit sa credit card.
Yung binigay o yung choice ko?
Okay.
Big, sir. Big.
Big. Yung choice mo yan o yung binigay?
Both.
Anyway, sige. Planet in the solar system.
Big.
Bed.
In particular.
Opo, in particular.
Ano ba
Jupiter.
yung biggest. So, Jupiter.
Jupiter. Sir, yung bed. Next item.
Big.
Bed. Okay. Wristwatch.
Big.
Okay. Nakasalamin na si sir. So, kailangan niya talaga makita. Okay. Sir, please do answer the following questions. Number 1, kung totoo ang langit, except sa akin, saka sa family members mo, sinong gusto mong isama sa langit kung aakyat ka na ngayon?
Kung aakyat ako ngayon, pwera ikaw, ano? Pwera ikaw kasi.
Marami kasing sinama na ako sa rin. One name.
Hindi, by lonesome lang. I don't want to bring anyone.
Sige, okay.
Mahirap kasi ang intention nun, pagka gusto mo siyang mawala na rin.
At least sa langit ang punta, di ba? Para sure na siya sana. Sayang, meron ka isang libreng ticket. So, tinapon mo yung libreng ticket mo. Okay, next question. Kung ikaw ay barbero, sinong artista ang gusto mong gupitan ngayong panahon ng quarantine?
Si Piolo Pascual.
Aha. Next question. Kung ikaw ay isang gym instructor, sinong politician ang gusto mong i-train sa gym?
Si Drilon.
Mukhang matagal-tagal na training yan, sir. But anyway, sige. If you are an astronaut, sinong gusto mong isama sa outer space?
Asawa ko.
Okay, kung isa lang ang babalik, sino po ang babalik?
Siya na lang. Siya na lang
Pinag-isipan po.
para asikasuhin niya yung mga anak ko.
Pero pinag-isipan mo, sir, may time na parang may dude, parang gusto mong wait, para 50-50. And then you-realize na nanonood siya. So, nung na-realize mo nanonood siya, siya na lang. Oo. Okay, last question. If you have all the money in the world, which company are you going to buy?
May companies pa rin.
Good. May paninindigan. Yun ang negosyante. Hindi bibili na kung ano-ano. Karamihan naman naging Diyos ko, binili na si Apple, binili sa Microsoft, binili sa Facebook. Alright. Sir, maraming salamat. Maraming salamat. Although hindi nyo na perfect yung score. So, passing naman siya. Passing naman. In fairness. Pumasa po kayo. Moving forward, particularly napakarami ng changes na nangyari ngayon. Na-flatten yung industries. Again, you're talking about retail, hard hit. Nabawasan yung mga external mga external people ninyo, nawalan din, they lost jobs. We are still losing business as we speak. Hindi pa natin nakikita yung total magnitude nung nangyari because again, yung iba they just try to make ends meet. Do you think this will be dragged for a couple of months or years more?
I think it would only change if the vaccine is already there. That would be the game changer. Why? Because there's still a potential that things will get back to the old normal, no? Because of course, when you talk of the vaccine being in place, then we would be able to move freely as we have used to, no? Kasi right now there are limitations in our movements, but with the vaccine is there, then potentially we can go back to our old usual ways, but not necessarily not progressing to something better than what we had before after the vaccine is in place.
If mayroong vaccine, for example, next week, and then na-vaccinize, for example, just by theory, na-vaccine na yung mga tao mo, yung company mo, ano yung mga priorities in terms of rebuilding, if ever you call it that? Ano yung
Well,
mga priorities?
first thing that I will do actually when we hurdle this is I have to thank all my people for standing by with us, no? Meaning to say that even despite all this crisis that has happened, they did not leave us behind. And we were able to survive it up to the time that the vaccine came in. Now, in terms of, well, the first one is to thank them. And the next is to re-strategize. Now, I have to rethink, no, reinvent and revolutionize the business in such a way that we become ahead of everything else, no? And that's what we need to do because uh, of course when you talk of the recruitment and staffing business, we are all one same in terms of the services that we provide, but as to how we become ahead of everyone else, then we have to constantly ponder on what is best for us, no? So we have to rethink, we have to reinvent and revolutionize all our strategies and ensure, no, that we are ahead and be able to provide unparalleled service to all our targeted clients.
Wow, that's interesting. And then your company, how do you think you can help naman yung mga kasi for example yung mga hindi ko lang kung ang nagpo-provide kayo ng mga services for small, micro, medium enterprises, but if you are sa mga businesses na nawalan ng trabaho because it's really difficult to maintain people na babayaran mo lahat ng benefits and things like that as against na i-contract mo lang dun sa legitimate contractors yung mga kailangan mo i-contract. In that particular case, you're playing by strength, no? So kung ano yung strength ninyo, sa strength nila, mag-focus sila sa strength nila and outsource kung ano yung hindi nila strength. So how can you help them in terms of manpower, human resource?
Well, of course, no. As I shared, no, everything is the same in terms of our activities. So what will cut the difference now is, of course, being compliant to all facets of the law, because nothing beats peace of mind, no? So if I were to offer, I would offer and ensure my clients, number one, the best quality of people, and number two, the best quality of service, and number three, of course, dealing with us will ensure them that we are legitimate and compliant to all the mandates of law. Because in this kind of activities, it is the quality that would dictate the demand, no? Because some clients would or some competitors in the competition, they would of course offer this and that, no, say lowered rates or whatever you may have, no. But at the end of the day, what dictates the quality of service is your compliance to the law. So that has to be paramount. No, it is always best for me to have a critical chunk of business, but all are actually compliant to law, rather than having a wide gamut, but there are some, of course, certain arrangements that is not consistent to what the law prescribes.
Or in other words,
Because,
siguro
yeah, yes, sir.
yung ikakatipid nyo, ikakagastos nyo rin siguro yan kung i-shortcut ninyo yung process or kukuha
That is
kayo.
true. When you talk of the principle of spending for the right reasons versus saving for the wrong ones, maraming ganyang negosyante, di ba? Maraming ganyang negosyante. But for
Kasi
me,
gusto kang makatipid, in fact, ano yan sir, mentality yan, di ba? Mentality yan. Yung nasasabi, you get what you paid for, always. You get what you
you
paid.
pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Simply said. Hindi ba? You have to
Yan yung,
pay
sir,
the price to make sure that you will not have problems.
na-develop yung mindset na yan dati, di ba, sa tsinela saka sa bibiling sapatos, no? So, yung mga mumurahin sapatos. So, after 1 month, wala sira. Okay. Sir, thank you so much. Where do they get in touch with you? Do you have website where people can go to if they need your services? Siyempre, mga manpower.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, no, Lloyd, for allowing me to, of course, plug in my company. For our third-party recruitment services, or otherwise known as executive search or headhunting, you can click on www.hrnetworkph.com, and for outsourced business services, you can click on www.polyservefields.com. And of course, if you're looking for the best service contractors, and all would be legitimate in that sense, you take a look at www.pulsecon.org, where you can find the biggest and the most reliable and trustworthy service contractors who are actually compliant to the mandates of the law.
Exactly. Kung wala sila dyan sa listahan, magdalawang isip po kayo. Okay. And sir, before I let you go, gusto ko lang itanong sa inyo, given all things that are happening right now, what do you think is the big picture?
Well, the big picture is, how do we handle this crisis? The big picture is, what's in store for us at the end of these struggles that we are going through right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Froilan Florendo, President, CEO of Polyserve, also PRO ng PALSCON. Sir, maraming salamat sa inyo.
Thank you very much as well, Lloyd. No? And it's a pleasure having this session with you. And, I take pride in, being part of this new channel, the new channel. Salamat po ng marami.
Maraming salamat po. Alright, good. Sige. Sa lahat po ng mga nanood, maraming salamat. The TNC and The Big Picture would like to thank the following: Uniform Solutions or Unisol, Telepreneur Corp, Lularan International Corporation, Rayway Portier Placenta, SMDC's Gem Residences, care of Catherine Kate Dalaga Garcia, Welllife Philippines, maraming salamat din po. Wonder Molecule, care of Bon Burgos. Puntahan niyo po yung kanyang Facebook para mag-inquire doon po sa kanyang binibentang Wonder Molecule. Mr. Rice PH, Alegria Rice Supply, The Manila Times, Creative Voices, PATS, PALP, Step Back Leadership, and of course, The Big Picture is presented to you by Puzzle Box BPO Inc. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng nanood. I'm going to see you again tomorrow for another inspiring episode of The Big Picture. Next, ang nanalo sa ating Facebook or ang lucky viewer natin si John Kennedy De Leon. Huwag po kayong aalis sa aming stream dahil susunod na ang... Ano ba susunod? Anong susunod? May Money and More ba tayo ngayon? Ano ba? Hindi ko lang kung may susunod na tayong show. Wala. Pakicheck. Oo. Kung meron tayo susunod na show ngayon, feeling ko meron eh. Ano ba ngayon? Monday or Tuesday? Anyway, maraming salamat po. Please stay on TNC for inspiring shows na talaga naman pong makakapag-uplift ng spirit ninyo. Siyempre, makukuha nyo rin yung mga wisdom ng mga guests na dinadala namin dito. So I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Good night, everyone, and always be healthy and always be safe. Bye-bye.